So if you watched my other video, you know I suffered a bit of trauma last night. Or I think in the middle of the night maybe. So you could say technically today. And yes, it was trauma, and yes, and it's still affecting me, as in physically. And that doesn't help my mental state, because then I'm wondering if I could have possibly done like major damage, or you know. So how I'm dealing with it. Fasting. And I feel like just having water. This is Eco Foods, some kind of green drink. Years ago, I got it all for free because it arrived opened. You know, if my box, even if it's worth $500, if it arrives open with powder, like in the box, I don't accept any of it. And the reason I got a refund instead of a replacement is because nobody would talk to me and tell me why they ship it like that, just not wrapped at all, just thrown into a box, piled on top of each other, these paper bags. You know? No one would talk to me, so in the end I'm like, fuck it, give me all my money back. I want all my money back. And I offered to ship them back all the crap, and they didn't want it, so I kept it. You couldn't tell what was open and what wasn't. Even if one was open, it doesn't matter. You don't have, we consumers don't have to accept anything that has powder all over it. You know? If you don't want it back, that's your business. So I determined it was just one, or I think it was one open or two, whatever, that was dripping powder over everything else. It doesn't matter. They didn't want it back. So I saved it, and it didn't expire yet. So I've been drinking it. I didn't do anything wrong. Extremely depressed today. Even though the adjuster was here, he didn't tell me how much he thinks he's going to get. And I didn't ask because it's probably not, I don't want to know, you know, because he doesn't know. He has no idea. He has to, you know, argue with the insurance person. He wants to have the insurance person and him come here. He did what the insurance person did 5 years ago, and I wish had done this time around, and sent out a water person. He had his own water thing. He had me sign paperwork on my mom's behalf as her durable power of attorney. Adjusters get 10%. He took the case, he thinks he can get more. He should be able to get more because that insurance guy came back with a very low amount. A very low amount. I viewed it as an insult. So. And I have no life, so they can come anytime. They can arrange it. My mom will unfortunately be home by then, probably. I just spent 40 minutes talking to elder services. I wasn't going to ignore their call. They called me. Probably the same person who showed up here a week before my mom got hospitalized. Less than a week, actually. And I proceeded to talk her ear off. Told her all the things I've told you and all the things I can't tell you. Which, just all sum it up, is, we don't even know who called elder services. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it was Auntie. Auntie's unfortunately still lurking in the shadows. Selena was so disgusted at that. In fact, I recently had troll comments that seemed like they were probably coming from Auntie. She could easily, she watched my video, she could have called elder services. It's anonymous. Saying that I was leaving or whatnot. I was totally honest with elder services. I'm like, this, that, or whatever, stuff I can't tell you, plus the stuff I can tell you. My mom's clearly not well, okay? And people take as the gospel truth every word that comes out of her mouth when she's clearly not well. It's ridiculous. I said if I am going to Joe's, if I do end up going to Joe's, because I didn't say this part, my delusional mom thinks she can live alone when she most certainly cannot. I won't be snapping my fingers and just being at Joe's instantly. It's probably going to take weeks to take care of this thing. It's clean. Who knows? If they're going to come here and argue, and especially if my mom's here, and it doesn't involve me at all. Once you have an adjuster, they take over completely. In fact, the insurance company, I believe, even pays them instead of paying you. They pay the contractor. My mom called me, and I answered it because I didn't know if it was the hospital, see? And of course she's crying, she's yelling, crying, all upset. I want to come home. Mom, I have a thing set up to talk to your doctor and social worker. I want to come home now. Of course you do. You're in La La Land. You want to talk to your boyfriend again. You want to get out of there. And I am glad you're not coming home instantly because I need time to get this house prepared for you coming home. I need to get all the dishes washed. I need to get your room cleaned. I need to figure out where I'm going to put all my stuff that I'm not about to put back in my room. I like my room to have nothing in there. Where am I going to put my stuff? I can't have it in your room. You're not mature enough when you're ill to stay out of my stuff. Plus you'll be all upset if it's in your room. See? I think I'm going to have to try to rearrange the laundry room. Negotiate, that's the word. That's why people get public adjusters. They're going to negotiate more money. As far as I'm concerned, right now, as far as I was concerned, obviously it wasn't true, but as far as I was concerned, I was choking to death on this last night, or in the middle of the night. Choking to death. And I can still feel it, and it's been hours and hours and hours later. Did it damage my throat? Who the fuck knows? All I know is even if it damaged my throat, I didn't die. I thought I was going to die. Okay? And it was traumatizing. It was on a small amount. As I told you in the other video, other people do it. I talked to someone before. Even my Joe does it with regular apple cider vinegar with the mother. But this is a brand. It's just a flavor of fire cider. It's just like the fire cider, and I think fire cider might even make shot glasses. People take shots of this kind of stuff, and they don't choke to death. So what the fuck? I just know it was a small amount of that liquid and I was unable to breathe. Like, what the fuck? Why did that happen to me? I wasn't able to breathe. I was terrified I was about to die. Although I'm thinking, how do you choke on liquid? Obviously, you can choke on a large amount of water, liquid, whatever, but this was just a very, very small amount. It's not like I tipped the bottle back and took a huge swig. No. I put a little bit in my mouth. Wasn't even that much. Swallowed it, and suddenly I'm choking to death. Not understanding why, and not understanding why it's still affecting me now, despite several hours going by, a lot of hours, and me sleeping. I can still feel it. Obviously, I'll never do it again. It's a tablespoon, and I'll put it in liquid. The question is, why did it happen? I don't know. Unless probably it went down the wrong way, like liquid does. But that terrified me more because it wasn't just plain water, or, you know what I mean? It terrified me. Because in that moment when it's doing that, you don't know. In that moment, you don't know if you're going to die. If that's just, if it's not, you can't breathe. I was unable to breathe. I'm going, and I couldn't breathe. And, you know, it's like my whole throat was filled up. And you don't know if it's going to go away or you're going to die. understand they have zero desire to eat. I might be hungry, but I have zero desire to eat. But I don't know what to do with myself. So yeah, before the adjuster came here today to take more measurements, to take his own water readings. And no, he didn't tell me. I wouldn't ask what he thinks he might be able to get. I thought he would tell me, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to get your hopes up, probably. He's going to try to get what he can get. I don't think it's going to be too fun having them argue with each other while I'm here, but they can't come to your home and have you be gone, you know. It doesn't involve me at all. In case they need to ask me a question, I'll have, if my mom's here, I'll have her go in her bedroom like I always do. Remember last time I was trying to talk to the contractor, he was here. He was doing something very important, trying to come up with an estimate of the water damage to our home, and my mother's bugging him because she's not well. She's bugging him with nonsense. Remember, to her, she doesn't know she's not well. And to her, she tries to get involved, but it's all, you know, tainted, all influenced by her madness, including when she's like, "We're not going to pay the plumber." Damn right, we're going to pay the plumber. Irony is, he's not even letting me pay him, pissing me off, stressing me out more, ignoring my phone calls and texts, just pissing me off. I didn't keep track when he was here. He would come here when I wasn't even here. I know it was a few days total for shorter amounts of time, but even a few days times an hour, you know what I mean? He needs to be paid. My mom was crying and screaming. Like, yeah, you're all ready to come home, aren't you, Mom? Sarcasm intended. But, like, all this, like, you think your mom's, I mean, the hospitals don't help her. The hospitals don't help her. I don't know. I knew she was fine, then she wasn't. Don't give a fuck who believes me. She was absolutely fine for 6 weeks, then she wasn't. And it was the warhead. She can't deal with life. She's really, really sensitive, so am I, but not to the point where I'm going to let it destroy me. Mom's not intentionally letting it destroy. She's taking her meds. She doesn't want to stay in there. How are they helping her? They're not. Is she ready to come home? Likely not. She'll probably just wind up in another place. I can't do everything. I'm single-handedly getting our home repaired. There's no way in hell Me being not a contractor, just my common sense, the low amount her insurance offered is, there's no way in hell. Especially everything, including labor, is way more expensive these days. The amount offered was an insult. Let's see how much more we can get. I was thinking if they're going to come here, because he wants to do it that way, and then just show the insurance guy from the insurance company, his readings, because he did a water thing, and rather than just send a big estimate or what, he likes to do it that way. Everything takes time. Everything takes so much time. If my mom's acting up and not sleeping and driving me crazy, yeah, I'm going to start leaving every day again. In the interest of my own self-preservation. Because remember, my mom drives me crazy and I react. She can say anything she wants to anybody and they take it as the gospel truth. If they're not in my life where I can set them straight. See? You really think my mother's going to tell people in her life who aren't in my life, or her new boyfriend, in quotations, or whatever, yeah, I thought people were going to, no, she's just going to say, yeah, Laura called 911 on me, and I went in the hospital. That's what she's going to say. I already know it. I already know it. I'd rather not be here and overhearing her say the bullshit to people on the phone. I already know what she's going to say. She doesn't remember what happened. She's not going to say the truth. Am I the only one who knows the truth? No. The police and paramedics know the truth, don't they? They came here and had to coax her out of the fucking bathroom. She wanted to come out. They almost had to break the door down, which I didn't want them to do, obviously. They're not playing around. They're not going to wait around for hours trying to get my mom to come out of the bathroom. Again, she wanted me to call them. Is she going to say anything that paints a negative light on her? No. Am I ever going to know the things she says to people? For the most part, no, not unless I overhear her. I've overheard her saying bullshit before. And then she's like, why are you listening in on my phone calls? I don't listen on your phone calls. Well, that's actually not true. You've heard me talk to Joe before. But nonetheless, we live in this tiny place, Mom. I hear you talking on the goddamn phone early in the morning when I'm sleeping through my fucking earplugs. You know what I mean? It's like 5 minutes. So that's what's going on. Oh, and I have an appointment set up to get the dishwasher fixed. Hopefully, if it can be repaired. Otherwise, we need a new dishwasher. This probably has sugar in it or some sugar or something. It's in health stuff, so it doesn't have, like, artificial, but who knows? The fact is, I don't care. I'm going to fast on liquids. I can do my bone broth, too, as long as it's plain. It doesn't have to be just water. Especially when I'm depressed, and drinking just water is going to depress me more. I'm happy the adjuster's taking our claim. Okay? I'm depressed over choking on that, and it was traumatizing for me. It's lingering. The trauma. I was thinking maybe I'll rent Strays for $6. $5.99 through Comcast Xfinity. it has animals. They're real animals, and it's escape. It's raunchy. Definitely be an escape to watch it. I watched an animated film about dogs called Ozzy. It was cute. His family has to go away for a month. His father does comic books, and they were offered a month's vacation in Japan. They can't bring the dog unless their beloved pet dog Ozzy, unless they quarantine him for 2 weeks. So they can't do it, and they fall for this thing saying it's a luxury resort for a month, and he pays an exorbitant amount. It's all a lie. They pretend. They take all that money from the family who trust them, thinking the dog's going to be pampered with food and massages and all that, and they send him to a prison. It's awful. But obviously, Ozzy triumphed in the end. He made friends that triumphed. They got out, and it definitely kept my attention. It was cute. And I also watched part of, I think I watched another. I can watch those after porn ends now. They fascinate me, I told you. I'm going to be fascinated hearing about women these days doing it, because these days, again, it's different. It's a dime a dozen. I'm talking about the golden age, the vivid girls. Ginger Lynn, she loved sex. She doesn't care. She's like, you can call me a slut, but not a whore. What I loved it. And she left and then came back because she missed having good sex. She doesn't care. She's like, call me a slut, not a whore. To me, a whore is anyone who does something for money. They don't enjoy their work. I enjoyed my work. And other women said that. She would be like, she can't understand the ones these days. She's like, she'd be all over people mess up her makeup and have to start. She's like, it's an intimate thing and that's my job and I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get close to them ahead of time. You know, it's like I never would want to do it now. They sit on opposite ends, playing with their phone, and then they call action, and then suddenly they're on all each other. Ginger Lynn did not do it that way. She was the golden age, the vivid girls, whatever, and she's not the only one that she loved it. She has no regrets, and it's interesting.